Antarctica. It's official. There's nothing down there. You can clearly see this water is empty, and hence the rest of the continent must be as well. Like, is that Nah, there's no way. It's definitely just a case of pareidolia. You know, the human tendency to see faces in everyday things. There we go. Myth officially debunked, and if you dare question it with a critical mind, you're harmful to society and must be silenced. Despite dozens of retired Navy officers who were stationed in Antarctica coming out and exposing what they really saw down there. These Google debunkers are evolving. They can't even spell their own names right. I think they might be dyslexic, which is no surprise. Critical thinking to them is blindly accepting what the experts, or better yet, an online debunking video says as the ultimate 100% truth, no questions asked. And questioning observations with an open mind from an outsider's perspective is clearly too much for them to process. Fun theories about controversial topics aren't the problem here. Pretending like we know the answers to everything with 100% certainty is far more dangerous than what any online theory might suggest. But you feel free to debunk this video, little bro. We sure as hell know obsessing over me is the only way you're staying relevant. Cause of course, who could forget about this pyramid-shaped mound under the snow, cut with incredible precision and perfectly aligned with northeast-southwest. But oh, it's just a mountain for sure. There's a lot more like this, so I guess it's just a common natural rock formation down there. Even aerial shots irrefutably prove they're just normal mountain ranges. How dare we even suggest that there might be something more going on in Antarctica? Here we have a satellite photo of some sort of disc that appears to have crashed and 4 other large objects surrounding it. Some claim it's a UFO crash site surrounded by some sort of surveillance units, but it's clearly just a, a near-perfect triangle, also with a crash-landed appearance with an oddly familiar shape. Nah, there's no way. Yet another disc shape up in the Antarctic mountains, and yeah, rocks, definitely, 100%. Interesting that the 1946 Operation High Jump in Antarctica was rumored to have ended early due to flying disc-shaped crafts scaring the Navy out of the area. 14 years later, the Antarctic Treaty is signed, heavily restricting exploration of the continent. This strange, long shape under the snow, another seemingly crash-landy looking site in an oddly similar shape as Oumuamua, a rumored derelict spacecraft that passed through our solar system in 2017 and was later dismissed as just being an asteroid, despite it having almost no characteristics of an asteroid, but I'll cover that another time. To be fair, this one may have just been a boulder that rolled down a nearby cliff. Hey, we just debunked that bit. But some of these other satellite finds are a little less explainable. Like, why are there over 60 monolithic objects lined up deep in the snow in a place that has allegedly never hosted intelligent life? Even more structures in the snow up to 70 feet tall that almost resemble buildings of sorts. And another, even more interesting, triangular shaped structure nearby with a similar height. And of course, the holes. Oh, the holes. Reports of holes everywhere across the South Pole. Like in 2007, Google Earth revealed a 250-foot wide hole with what looks like stairs leading into it. A few months later, it disappears from satellite view. Then in 2019, it reappears but looks totally botched and in lower quality than the image from 10 years ago. But my friends, as we know, that's barely even the tip of the tip. There have been just countless reports of holes in Antarctica heading deep beneath the surface. There's the story in Richard Byrd's diary of the glimmering underground city he flew into in 1946 that I covered in a previous video. Then a retired Navy SEAL who goes by the name Brian spoke out about a mission he went on in Antarctica in the 1980s. While flying over a no-fly zone, he saw a 300-foot wide hole in the ice with tracks around the area leading into the hole. When he got back to his station, an officer and 2 men in suits interrogated him about the no-fly zone violation. The men in suits tell him to never talk about that hole again and to never go back. A few months later, he's told to fly scientists to the Dome, which was a known research station back then. There, he overheard people talking about the hole, saying they're going there to meet visitors.
It seemed to me they were talking about like an extraterrestrial or an alien, because they didn't refer to them as a person, it was a visitor.
The rumors claimed these holes were entrances to underground bases where humans and these visitors cooperated on highly classified projects. Then more testimonies started rolling in. In 1985, another medevac flight over the no-fly zone saw a giant hole as wide as a football field. Men in black suits later came to tell them they never saw it. 1990s, Navy flight crews reported silver discs zipping over the Antarctic mountains at impossible speeds all the time, told to never speak of it. In 2002, a film crew called Atlantis TV flies down to the South Pole to shoot a documentary about these holes. They allegedly film actual footage of a massive ancient city buried beneath the ice of Antarctica. Sound familiar? Then they went missing, of course. Navy rescuers found their camping equipment and even recovered their tapes. They played them to a few scientists and, according to rumors, showed spectacular ruins of a lost civilization and were told to never speak of it, including an ancient pyramid temple complex 2 miles beneath the ice with caverns bigger than Bermuda. The US military confiscated the tapes, Atlantis TV sued them, lost, and then went out of business. Then this happened. happens. A Navy commander codenamed Spartan 1 who was stationed in Antarctica exposes all of his classified reports in an interview. In 2003, while flying on an extraction mission, his Navy SEAL team notices the top of a structure in the shape of a tall black octagon in the snow below. They land, walk up to it, and come up to a door over 20 feet high with strange markings of what looks like a star map and other strange glyphs. The star map looks like a pulsar map, a mapping technique used by NASA that shows the location of a sun relative to known pulsars. The Navy team enters the building and it's huge, a room about 10 acres across, which is like 7 football fields. The walls were all illuminated with a soft green glow but no visible light source. And also on the walls were more carvings, similar to Egyptian or Mayan hieroglyphs but also way different. There was a ramp inside that led deep beneath the ground where the rooms got even bigger. According to scientists that explored these sites, these lower levels were occupied by humanoids. Humanoid beings, far superior in strength and knowledge, and are the ones who actually created humans. Anunnaki, anyone? At least that's what Spartan 2, another US Marine whistleblower, claims, adding, and I quote, "Antarctica contains wonders beyond what most can comprehend. It has ties to space and technology beyond belief." There are even reports like this one that giant alien bodies have been spotted beside entrances to caverns. This whole story is part of Spartan 1 and 2's confession tapes, which, yes, sure, they might be making it up, but they sure ain't the only ones. Contractors like Eric Heckler have also exposed insane technology they're experimenting with down there, and that's another topic that'll blow your load. But you can actually fly to Antarctica if you wanted to, so why doesn't anyone just do that and examine these sites firsthand? Well, the area designated for tourist travel down there is limited, like extremely limited. Going there and declaring Antarctica a barren wasteland with nothing to see would be like going to Las Vegas and claiming all of America is just a giant desert. And remember, just a theory, but I'm sure Google will tell you all about how all of this is 100% confirmed fake and we should mindlessly shame anyone who dares question it.
Have you ever questioned our sun lately? That there is something weird going on? Geji, Sama, and I come up with this discussion and we talked about it yesterday. You hear the news, right? About sun flares, sunstorms, and so on. Do you think it's real? Or is this another lie? If you get the concept of every beauty shown, there is madness and deceive behind curtains. Let's just say, for example, the Northern Lights. And a lot of people capture this beauty. But the reason behind it is not that pretty. Religious people may call it under the throne of God. Who knows? Spiritual people call it an infinite energy. The reason behind these Northern Lights may be because we are having two suns. One real and local, one fake and plasma. Now let's cut the bullshit about this narcissistic astronaut. China released an artificial sun. Yeah, and there's a lot of people have noticed it. Everyone noticed it. Before, we still have sun gazing. We can see the sun and not hurting our eyes. But right now, you cannot even look at it for just 1 second. And these two suns are coexisting because NASA using this sun simulator. And you've probably seen this photo, right? That they called, quote unquote, James Webb Telescope on our real local sun, just to magnify the intensity of the fake sun. As I told you before, it's all energy source. These two suns, the fake one and the real one, are like two magnets, pushing and pulling. That causes negative energy and it affects the ionosphere. And that won't be good at all. There is something going on in our skies, and these people doesn't want you to know. And this is also the things that I told you about, that there is a weird things going on, or things might happen. There is no sun flares. This is all made up. Our real sun that's local is just chilling up, giving you source of energy and light. This is the reason why they want to ban TikTok, they want to ban the Bible. These people doesn't want you to discover the secret of the universe, that it's all written on our scriptures. Maybe, just maybe, our real sun, real moon, and this fake sun is all plasma, just like what they call planets. It might be plasma and represents our soul system, not solar system. It's like the fourth state of matter. And these emit too much energy. Like the amount of power that comes from a plasma, these two suns might be a plasma, pushing and pulling each other from magnetic forces. And it's weakening our electromagnetic field and causing these northern lights to spread around north. You've probably seen the photos like this, right? This is the patent for sun simulator. This is the reflection coming off of the sun from a high altitude weather balloon. It looks so similar, yeah? Similar to James Webb Telescope. This telescope is actually a sun simulator. Again, this NASA doesn't need telescopes because they edit CGI photos. This fake sun is dangerous. This claims that it is 5 times hotter than our real sun, achieving temperature of 158 million degree Fahrenheit just for 17 minutes. And all of this mimics the real sun, pretending to produce clean energy. This is their dream, to create a nuclear fusion. This involves fusing hydrogen atoms into helium just to create this mimic fake sun. A Ptolemaic-designed superheat plasma to replicate stellar conditions. And all of this, it's because of your money. It's all because of money. There's nothing good going on with playing with nature, especially playing with God. They fake the rain, they fake the cloud, they fake going to space, they fake the planets. What else they are faking? There is something going on in space, going and coming, that it's not human like us. And this is the thing that they are hiding from us. So if you want to be a great liar, be an astronaut. You're not going to wake anybody up anymore. We are basically at the end game. There are things that are about to start happening everywhere. That's gonna freak the shit out of people. Back away from trying to wake them up. They're comfortably asleep. They are where they want to be. And unfortunate as it is, when all this gonna hit the fan, they all gonna look around and say, why didn't someone say something about it? Well, we actually did, but you call us crazy. When it comes to aliens, there is something that I cannot tell you on air. There are records of objects that we don't know nothing about, or know exactly what they are, or how they move is not an explainable patterns. So very unlikely that there are billions of solar-like systems, or what we call undiscovered mysteries inside Earth, that blocking us to discover it. Maybe because it would shock a lot of people. Who knows?
If the sun and moon were just circling over the flat Earth and getting too far away to see, then we would see them shrink and fade out of view as they set. But we don't. Flat Earthers will show you videos where the sun appears to grow or shrink, but this is an illusion due to thick clouds. You can always see that there are clouds near the horizon when they try to show this. Normally, this illusion does not happen.
Oh, so he said that flat earthers are always hiding it behind clouds or whatever. Well, there's plenty of footage out there you can find where there's no clouds involved. This is from a really good video online you guys need to check out called Flat Earth Proof Sunset Off Pucket. I'm not sure if that's exactly how you pronounce it. P-H-U-K-E-T. Really interesting, showing sunset. I believe this was actually somewhere off the equator. Again, you'd have to watch that video for yourself, but it clearly shows the sun changing in diameter as it goes away. So please take note not to ignore this evidence. Other videos you've seen where it looks like it's going in an arc like that and going off into the distance. Other videos where people have taken and used filters and whatnot and analyzed the sun moving and then done measurement of pixels across the screen, showing that it does in fact look like it gets a little bit smaller in some cases. In some cases it gets a lot smaller. In this case from 302 pixels to 290. And then of course there's this video right here, which apparently was shot in the desert where there's going to be a lot less moisture, and so whenever there's less moisture you're going to obviously have less refraction and magnification.
You don't get to pick the anomalies that seem to agree with your views and ignore the common observations that don't, and still call yourself an honest investigator. That is intellectually dishonest.
So thinking about all this and thinking about what I had just shown you regarding atmospheric lensing, magnification, refraction, all that with regard to cities and objects at a distance on the land, I got to thinking, I wonder how this would work with the sun and moon. So this is what I came up with. I've got my magnifying sheet frame, and I created a little stand to paste the sun on it and keep it the same height over the flat surface of a table. So the sun is always going to be parallel with the surface. And check this out. All right, here's the first test of a sun moving over a flat surface, and with no atmospheric magnification, it does what we might expect it would. It gets smaller as it goes away from us. All right, now let's see what happens when we add in our atmospheric magnification. Again, water and refraction. Water causes magnification and refraction, right? So let's bring the sun back. Oh, check this out. Refraction bends the light downward. It made the sun set on a parallel surface. As it was moving parallel, the same height, the whole way over a flat surface, the refraction caused the sun to set. Not only that, well, let's bring in the beginning of that little test, and we see that it maintained pretty much the same size, too. Pretty close. And of course, that's because as it's moving away, the magnification is still taking place, and so even though the sun's further away than it was in the beginning of the test, the magnification basically preserved the same size, and the refraction made it set. Of course, again, depending on how much moisture is in the air, we could see that the sun doesn't appear to change in size at all as it goes down. We could see sometimes perhaps that it looks like it's getting bigger when it goes down. You ever see like a really big sunset or moonrise, moonset, you know, where one of them looks really large on the horizon? Well, that could be because there's lots of moisture in the air causing that effect. Or when there's less moisture in the air, obviously you won't have as much magnification taking place, and so it looks smaller as it goes away. So it's all relative to the amount of moisture that's in the air. Now, I'm just going to put forward a crazy idea for you to think about. And that is, if Rob Skiba could figure this out, I'm just going to go out on a limb here. I think it's quite possible that the creator of the cosmos could have figured out the same thing and engineered our beautiful sunsets, thanks to all of that water he placed in our atmosphere. Just something to think about.
Where's the wall? Aquí. No, this is not the wall. Bro, not the wall. It's there. Look at that. The wall right there. Right here. Finally, we're here. Wow. No, nice stuff. But it's quite high. We call this other place where the ice wall is way lower. It's a good access point, way easier than up there where the waterfalls are. The ice wall is much larger here. Wow. Man, see how the water has made its way. More any time, huh? I hope that it will come down eventually. It's pretty, but it's good. Yeah, that's good.
Airplanes would never reach their destination flying east. We can go home on this one right here. See, Miss Mary, they say that Earth moving 1,000 miles. All right? I'm trying to go to Florida, Miami. All right? Miami is east. All right? And this thing is rolling, y'all. The Earth is moving west to east, they say. Now, if I get in a plane up, Miami is running from me because it's spinning. How fast is it spinning? 1,000 miles. Now, watch this, math students. How fast would my plane have to go to catch Miami if Miami was going 1,000 miles. All right, I'm not going to put a time variation on that. Let's just put it like that. At the least, I'd have to be going 1,020. 1,001. Guess how many miles per hour planes travel? 550 miles per hour. Give or take. So if the earth is spinning 1,000, Miami is moving 1,000, and I'm going 550. You are never going to get there. This thing could be spinning 1,000 miles per hour, and we don't feel it. Well, it's not only spinning. Watch this. While it's spinning 1,000 miles an hour, they tell us that it's orbiting the sun at 65,000 miles per hour. So we're going 1,000 miles in a circle like that, and then 65,000 miles around the sun. Yeah, yeah. Now wait, I got a question for you. Can you feel it? Now how much faith does that take to believe? I can't see it, I can't feel it, but I still. You ever went 100 miles per hour in a car? That's what I'm saying. Can you feel that you're going 100 miles per hour? So that's what science says. Pretty ridiculous. What does the Bible say? Because this is where the rubber meets the road. Whether you think that is ludicrous or not, and you trust in these men. Look, you could trust in them. Neil deGrasse, you could trust in all of them. You could shine their shoes, kiss their feet. But what happens when I tell you that God says the exact opposite? This is what they say, but this is what God says. 1 Chronicles 16:30. Fear before him, all the earth. The world also shall be stable, that it be not moved. It don't move. It's fixed. Is it going 1,000 miles? Is it circling the sun 65,000 miles? Because if it is and you believe that, you don't believe God. Let's go look. Psalm 96:10. Say among the heathen, because that's who giving it to us, that the Lord reigneth. He reigns. The Lord also shall be what? Established, that it shall not what? Be moved. Is it going 1,000 miles? Psalm 93:1. The Lord reigneth. He's clothed in majesty. The Lord is clothed with strength. Wherewith he had girded himself. The world is established 3 times, that it cannot be moved. Come home. Come home to God. Come home to creation. They lied to us, y'all. They say that the sun is fixed and the earth is orbiting. But you got to understand the Luciferian. You got to understand the secret societies. They say that up is down and down is up. Everything is backward. The earth is not moving. The earth is fixed. The sun is not still. The sun is moving. Pastor, this is blowing my mind. All of my 6th grade education is out the window. Welcome to Philadelphia Christian Church.
Let me start by saying I've been studying the Flat Earth model for about 20 years, and I've gone over all of the different phenomenon that can be, you can take 2 models, and both models can explain these phenomenon, but only one model is the truth. So when you start investigating the Flat Earth model, you realize since there are 2 inversions of each other, the heliocentric and geocentric are inversions, and they're both valid because they are inversions. Any scientist will tell you that that's the truth. Einstein actually said that. 2 conventions can explain the same phenomenon. So since Einstein also said that you cannot actually prove the Earth is moving, then a logical person would be, okay, well, let's see if we can prove the Earth is moving and prove that we live on a ball. But what people do is they try to disprove the Flat Earth model. And they run into a lot of problems when they start trying to do that, because right off the bat, you can't prove the Earth is moving. And right off the bat, the Earth is actually very flat, perfectly flat in many places around the world, not including the water that is flat. The surface of the water is flat for thousands of miles, which means it's contained. So right off the bat, they have a lot of problems with that. But I want to show you something about the sun and the seasons. So as you can see, in the heliocentric model, we're told that the sun hits the Earth in the northern hemisphere more intensely than in the southern hemisphere in the summer. And in the winter, for the northern hemisphere, the sun is hitting the southern hemisphere. So there's a problem with this because obviously the sun is far bigger than the Earth. You see, in the heliocentric model, we're told the sun looks as small as it does in the sky because of perspective. It's actually far bigger than the Earth. That means the light from the sun is hitting the Earth horizontally and hitting the entire side of the Earth all year round. But see, that means that it's only perspective that we see a small sun in the sky. So the entire sun, being as large as it is, hits the entire side of the Earth, not just one spot on the Earth in the summer. And then later on, as the Earth moves around the sun, it supposedly only hits the southern part of the Earth. It hits the entire side of the Earth, always, all year long. The only way the sun would affect the Earth because of the Earth's tilt would be that the South and North Poles would experience different rates of sunlight all year long. In truth, the sun is much closer, and that is why we feel the heat from the sun. It isn't because the light of the sun travels through a vacuum and hits our atmosphere and discriminately decides to heat up the northern hemisphere and then the southern hemisphere because of the tilt of the earth. This is why we see crepuscular rays, because the sun is much closer. This is why we see the sun spotlight the earth. There's a disinformation campaign causing people to believe that the flat earth model is ridiculous, but it is actually a torus field, and the religious institutions knew about this model of the earth as well as our ancient cultures. Research the flat earth model for yourself and try to understand what a dielectric world is, what a primer field is, a torus field, and how a flat plane accretion disk can form in this system. You can't argue against something you don't understand. The Masons know the true model of the world. You'll find the symbolisms in the corporations that they control and the entertainment industry that they control. In time-lapse, you can see how the sun appears to become smaller as it moves away from us. This would not happen if the sun were 93 million miles away. The eyes cannot see what the indoctrinated mind refuses to accept. You are told from birth that the world is one way, and you are not told what the actual world model is, or even could be. There's no reason for scientists to not show you this model of the world if it is simply another model. All they have to do is say, yeah, that's an inversion of the true world model, but they won't even accept this as a possibility, which is a red flag. Research Flat Earth.
I just love it when Christians say that the Bible doesn't tell us what the shape of the earth is. But if you go to Job 38:14, where it literally says the earth takes shape like clay under a seal, the earth takes shape. Takes what? It takes shape like what? Like clay under a seal. What's a seal? It's a chotham, a signet ring. So you take a signet ring, you press it down in the clay, and the Bible's telling you that that's the shape the earth takes. Anything that's a physical object has its own unique shape to it, and that's what a shape is. And the Bible's using the analogy of pressing down a signet ring into clay. That's the shape you get. That's the shape of the earth. And it matches exactly the flat earth model. What a coincidence. I'm just going to completely body this entire discussion once and for all in Christianity because it's completely ignorant, and the people who are arguing for a globe obviously have no idea what they're talking about. So let's take it to Genesis 1:2, where it says that he hovered over the face of the deep. You know, God's obviously hovering over the waters here as he's creating the earth, separating the waters above the firmament from the waters below the firmament. The firmament's a dome. It's not that hard of a concept to grasp. But what I do want you to grasp is face. He hovered over the face of the waters, over the face of the deep. Proverbs 8:27, when he set a compass upon the face of the deep. When he drew a circle upon the face. What do you use to draw a circle in mathematics? You use a compass on a flat surface to draw a circle perfectly. And from my previous video, what is a face? In geometry, a face is a flat surface. Let's take it all the way back to to kindergarten geometry, where they taught you and they emphasized to you, the teacher repeated it, she emphasized it to you specifically, that a sphere has 0 faces. A sphere has 0 faces. This is a fact in geometry. A sphere has 0 faces. And then here in Acts 17:27, where it says that God made a dwelling place for us upon the face of the earth with bounds. This is possibly the ice wall that encompasses the earth, aka Antarctica. And it also says that he is not far from us, indicating that heaven is near. Heaven is not billions upon trillions of miles and light years away in a vast void galaxy of loneliness and insignificance and death, like Satan taught you. No, heaven is directly above your head, possibly only a few hundred miles away. So be comforted by that, because that's what he wants. What a coincidence that all the verses align with the flat earth, and that all the verses contradict a scriptureless globe. What a coincidence that you don't have any verses for a globe. That's weird. That's really weird, you know? I think it's pretty obvious that what the Bible teaches about what the shape of the earth is, and people would rather just live in denial and listen to their science books and satanic pseudoscience that they obviously know nothing about. They think that God would make a world where we can just get hit by an asteroid at any second, and his entire creation would just be for nothing and go to ruin from an asteroid. He would definitely make a world like that. That makes perfect sense, right? Okay. He wants his creation to be obvious and for you to be comforted by it. That's why he included it in Genesis 1. Jesus is king.
So see this comment here? I'm good. I know the earth is a globe. You can say whatever you want. I have yet to see any proof from Flat Earth Prison. That doesn't make any sense. So I'm just gonna tell you, brother, this is exactly what I mean though. You're good. You know the earth is a globe. You know because you were told in school. Mathematics doesn't prove the earth is a globe, brother. Okay, mathematics actually fooled us into thinking it's a globe. The earth is not a globe. And the reason you haven't apparently seen any flat earth proof is because you're not looking. And it's unfortunate because I have over, 200-300 on just this page alone. So you're really not looking. I mean, you're trying hard to not look. So that's unfortunate. I'm just telling other people, don't be like this. Don't be this person that's so convinced that they know the truth because of what they were told in the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th grade. Do you really think that they're teaching you the truth in school? Do you think that? Because Napoleon, who they taught us about in school, one of his most famous quotes was that history is written by the victors, and history is his story. So I don't understand how people don't understand that what we were told is not true. It's a story. That goes for everything, including fake make-believe gravity. Gravity's been a theory a long time. It's not proven yet. It will never be proven because it's nonsense. If it was real, it would be fact by now. If gravity was real, it's so strong but so weak at the same time. It holds people upside down on the other side of the earth, but butterflies can just flap one flap of their wings and fly off. So it's super strong enough to hold a human that weighs hundreds of pounds upside down from floating off into space. But a teeny little butterfly can just flap its wings and fly away. I mean, come on. We got to start using our heads here. Give me a break. So please, I'm begging people, don't be like this person here who refuses. This is what's called refusing to do research. This isn't anything other than that. He's refusing to do research. Please don't be like this. There's a word for this, right? It's called being ignorant. So I highly recommend, please learn the truth. It's out there. It's in front of our faces now. It's not hard to learn the truth anymore. Like 30 years ago, I guess learning the truth was probably hard. Now it's everywhere. So if you're not learning the truth, it's because you're ignoring it. So really, you need to pay attention. There's an awakening happening. If you don't know there's an awakening happening, that should seriously concern you. You should really be concerned. If I was watching other people wake up around me and I wasn't, I would be scared. So I don't know why more people aren't concerned. But like to this dude, I pray for you, brother. I love you. And if you need any help, please, you can come to me. I'll show you the way, man. Somebody had to show me the way. I get how it works. But you're being lied to, and you thinking that you know gravity and the earth is a globe because what, you were told in school that? You're wrong, man. And it's sad, truly sad. I mean, it really is sad. I'm sure even some of your teachers know at this point too, especially, that what they were teaching is nonsense. So it's just really sad. I actually know teachers that know the truth and they still teach the nonsense because you have to, or you lose your job. There's a curriculum you have to teach. Like there's my stepson, one of his teachers, he knows the truth. Absolutely. I've talked to him. He knows what time it is. But does he teach that? No, he teaches global, crap. He teaches globe theory. He teaches the nonsense because he'll lose his job and he has a family. So that's what we're coming down to right now. People have to teach it even though they know that it's wrong, which is sad, truly sad. If I was him personally, I would quit my job or start homeschooling kids on the side or something. I'd figure it out because I refuse to teach a lie. I refuse to live in a lie. Not happening. I love you all, including you, brother. I feel bad for you. I do. I pray for you. I'm going to pray for you tonight too. So I really hope you wake up because it's time. If you're not learning the truth, you're not trying. Simple as that. You're trying not to learn the truth at this point. So I love you all and I wish you the best of luck. This is for your entertainment.